Listen, I need to tell you something urgent. Starting January 2026, new airport rules are hitting travelers over 70 hard, and I'm watching seniors get denied boarding at gates because nobody bothered to warn them. This breaks my heart because every single one of these situations could have been prevented. You've been flying for decades. You know the drill. But here's what's terrifying. The rules changed completely. Not minor adjustments. I'm talking about documentation requirements, security procedures, and boarding policies that are nothing like what you experienced even 2 years ago. Show up unprepared, and you will be denied boarding, not because you did anything wrong, but because rules changed and nobody announced them properly. Last month, I watched a 73-year-old man miss his daughter's wedding. His ID didn't meet new federal requirements. He had no idea. The ticket agent had zero flexibility. That flight left without him. I don't want that to be you. If you want more practical travel secrets, smash that subscribe button now and tell me in the comments. Are you over 70 or helping a senior traveler prepare for an upcoming flight? I read every comment and build videos based on what you need to know. I'm going to share 11 critical things you must know before stepping into that airport in 2026. These aren't suggestions, these are requirements. Let me tell you exactly how to handle each one. The Real ID deadline is catching everyone off guard. As of May 7th, 2025, you cannot board a domestic flight with a standard driver's license. It must be Real ID compliant. Many seniors renewed licenses years ago and have no clue if theirs is compliant. From what I've seen, this confusion causes more gate delays than weather. Passengers arrive with licenses they've had for 8 years, and suddenly they're told it's invalid for air travel. The stress, the panic, the missed flights. Take out your driver's license right now. Look at the top right corner. See a star inside a circle or a star inside a cutout of your state? That's the Real ID marker. No star means your license will not get you through TSA starting May 2025. Period. If your license isn't compliant, don't panic. Use a valid U.S. passport or passport card instead. Always acceptable. But if you don't have a passport and your license isn't Real ID compliant, visit your DMV now, not next month, now. Appointments are booking out weeks in advance. I had a passenger named Margaret, 76 years old, traveling to see her first great-grandchild. She arrived 3 hours early, did everything right, and got turned away at security because her license didn't have that star. She didn't know. Nobody told her. She missed that flight and had to reschedule, costing hundreds of dollars and missing the baby's first day home. Don't be Margaret. Check your ID today. Let me clear up major confusion about medical documentation. You do not need a doctor's note just because you're over 70. That's a myth. Airlines cannot discriminate based on age alone. However, specific medical situations now require documentation, and rules tightened in late 2025. If you require supplemental oxygen, use a wheelchair for mobility beyond standard airport distances, or have a condition that might require medical attention during flight, you need to complete a medical clearance form 48 to 72 hours before departure. This is new. The form is called a META Medical Information Form. Delta calls it a Special Service Request. United calls it Accessible Travel Services. American calls it Special Assistance. They all want the same information. A doctor's signature confirming you're fit to fly. Call the airline and say this exactly. I need to submit medical clearance documentation for my upcoming flight. Can you email me the required form? They will send it. Get your doctor to complete it. Submit it at least 48 hours before your flight. This is not optional. Without it, the gate agent can deny you boarding if they believe you might have a medical emergency in flight. If you're healthy and flying without medical equipment or assistance, you don't need this. But if you have any doubt, maybe you use a cane, maybe you have a heart condition, call the airline. Better to have documentation you don't need than need documentation you don't have. Prescription medication rules changed and catch people off guard constantly. As of 2026, TSA has stricter rules about prescription medications, especially liquids and controlled substances. Your pills need to be in their original prescription bottles, not a pill organizer, not a Ziploc bag. The original pharmacy bottle with your name, the prescribing doctor, and the medication name clearly labeled. Traveling with a week's worth of pills in one of those daily organizers, TSA can confiscate them. TSA needs to verify the medication belongs to you and is legal. Without that prescription label, they have no way to confirm it. And with increased security around opioids and controlled substances, they're not taking chances. Before you pack, separate out the pills you need for your trip and ask your pharmacist for a duplicate labeled bottle. Most will do this for free if you explain you're traveling. Keep that bottle in your carry-on, never in checked luggage. Checked bags get lost. Your heart medication cannot get lost. For liquids like insulin or liquid antibiotics, you're allowed to bring more than the standard 3.4 ounces, but you must declare them at the security checkpoint. Don't just throw them in your bag. Walk up to the TSA officer and say, I have medically necessary liquids in my bag that exceed 3.4 ounces. They'll pull your bag aside and test the liquids. Takes an extra 2 minutes. If you use injectable medications like insulin or EpiPens, carry a copy of your prescription or a doctor's note. Not legally required, but it makes the process smoother. I've seen passengers held up for 20 minutes because TSA wasn't sure about their insulin pens. A simple prescription printout solves that instantly. Everyone talks about TSA PreCheck. Yes, it's fantastic. Shoes on, belt on, laptop stays in your bag. But did you know travelers 75 and older get to keep their shoes and light jackets on even in the regular TSA line? This is a little-known TSA accommodation that started in 2023. Most seniors have no idea. You don't need to pay for PreCheck to get some benefits. If you're 75 or older, you can leave your shoes on during standard screening. You still remove your belt if it has a large buckle. But shoes? Keep them on. When you get to the security line, tell the TSA officer, I'm 75 and I'd like to keep my shoes on. They'll direct you through. It's your right. Official TSA policy. Under 75 but over 70, get TSA PreCheck. It's $78 for 5 years. That's about $15 per year. Less than one checked bag fee. The time and stress you save, priceless. You can apply online, schedule an appointment at an enrollment center, and have it within 2 to 3 weeks. Here's what nobody tells you. If you have certain credit cards, they reimburse the TSA PreCheck fee. Cards like Chase Sapphire Reserve, Capital One Venture, or some American Express cards cover it completely. Check your credit card benefits before paying out of pocket. You might already have this covered. Airlines are required by federal law to allow passengers who need extra time or assistance to board before general boarding begins. This includes seniors. But they don't always announce it clearly, and many seniors feel embarrassed to ask. Let me tell you something. We want you to pre-board. We would much rather have you settled in your seat before the chaos of general boarding than have you struggling down the aisle with 200 people behind you. It's safer for you, easier for us, and keeps boarding moving smoothly. What qualifies you for pre-boarding? If you need extra time to get settled, if you need to store a mobility device, if you have difficulty walking long distances, or if you simply feel more comfortable boarding early, you qualify. Age alone doesn't automatically qualify you, but needing extra time does, and many of us over 70 need that extra time. Say this at the gate, I'd like to request pre-boarding because I need extra time to get settled. That's it. You don't need to justify it, you don't need a doctor's note, you don't need to feel guilty. The gate agent will allow you to board during the pre-boarding phase, right after active military and families with small children. Some airlines call this priority boarding or courtesy boarding. Same thing. You board early, no extra charge, free. You're right. I once had a lovely couple in their early 70s who didn't know to ask. They waited until their boarding group was called and the husband was using a cane. By the time they got down the aisle, he was exhausted and nearly fell trying to lift their carry-on. If they had pre-boarded, I would have helped them with no rush, no crowd, no stress. Ask for pre-boarding. If you use a cane, walker, wheelchair, or any mobility device, TSA updated their screening procedures in 2025. You need to know what to expect. TSA now uses advanced screening technology for mobility devices, which means your device might go through a separate scanner or get swabbed for explosives. Standard procedure. Not personal. They're not singling you out. But if you don't know it's coming, it feels invasive and frustrating. When you arrive at security, tell the TSA officer I use a mobility device and need assistance. They will direct you to a separate lane. Your device will be inspected either by hand or through a scanner. You'll be asked to walk through the metal detector or receive a pat-down if you can't walk through. If you cannot stand or walk through the metal detector, request to remain seated in your wheelchair. TSA will conduct a pat-down screening while you're seated. This is allowed. This is your right. Say this. I need to remain seated for screening due to mobility limitations. They will accommodate you. If they give you pushback, ask to speak with a TSA supervisor. Supervisors are trained on these accommodations. One more tip. If you're traveling with a collapsible wheelchair or walker, collapse it before you get to security. Makes the screening process faster because it can go through the X-ray belt more easily. Need help collapsing it? Ask a TSA officer or airline employee. They'll help you. If you need wheelchair assistance at the airport, you must request it when you book your ticket or at least 48 hours before your flight, not when you get to the airport, not at check-in. 48 hours in advance. Airlines contract with third-party companies to provide wheelchair services. Those companies staff based on advance requests. Show up at the airport needing a wheelchair without pre-requesting it, and you might wait 30 minutes or more for someone to become available. I've seen seniors miss flights because they waited too long for wheelchair assistance that should have been pre-arranged. When you book your ticket online, look for a section called Special Services or Accessibility Requests. Check the box for wheelchair assistance, booking by phone. Tell the agent, I need wheelchair assistance from check-in to the gate and from the gate to baggage claim on arrival. Be specific. They need to know exactly where you need help. Already booked your ticket and didn't request it? Call the airline now. Say, I have a flight on this date and I need to add wheelchair assistance to my reservation. They'll update it in the system. Wheelchair assistance is free on all U.S. airlines. Free. Part of the Air Carrier Access Act. You don't have to tip the wheelchair attendant, though many passengers do because they're grateful for the help. The service is free, and you should never feel like you're imposing. We'd much rather you request a wheelchair than try to tough it out and risk falling or exhausting yourself. Airports are huge. Gates are far. You're allowed to ask for help. You've earned it. Not all disabilities are visible. Maybe you have chronic pain, arthritis, breathing issues, anxiety in crowds, or cognitive challenges. Real conditions that affect your ability to navigate an airport comfortably. You are entitled to accommodations even if you don't look disabled. Airlines don't advertise this. You can request extra time, priority seating, escort services, or other accommodations, even without a visible mobility device. The Air Carrier Access Act protects you, but you have to speak up because gate agents and crew can't read minds. Say this, I have a disability that's not immediately visible, and I need specific accommodation. For example, I have severe arthritis and I need to pre-board so I can store my bag without rushing. Or I have anxiety in crowded spaces and I need assistance navigating security. Airlines are required to provide reasonable accommodations. Reasonable means it doesn't fundamentally change the flight operation. Pre-boarding, reasonable. Extra time, reasonable. Requesting a specific seat near the bathroom because you have a medical condition, reasonable. Asking to sit in an exit row without meeting the requirements, not reasonable. If you're finding this helpful and you want to make sure you never miss an insider secret that could save your next trip, hit that subscribe button right now. I've got more tips coming your way. Quick recap. We talked about the Real ID deadline and making sure your license has that star. We covered medical documentation, prescription medication rules, and how TSA PreCheck works for seniors. We went through pre-boarding rights, mobility device screening, and when to request wheelchair assistance. We discussed invisible disability accommodations. That's 11 things that could mean the difference between a smooth trip and a nightmare at the airport. One more insider tip before I let you go. If you're over 70 and traveling alone, tell your flight attendant during boarding. Just a simple, hi, I'm traveling alone today and I wanted to let you know in case I need assistance. Why does this matter? Because if there's turbulence, if there's an emergency, if you need help reaching the bathroom or retrieving your bag, we already know to check on you. We're not going to hover or treat you like a child, but we'll keep an eye out. That simple heads up can make all the difference. You are the reason we fly. Your comfort and safety matter most. Don't be afraid to speak up, ask questions, and advocate for yourself. The crew is there to help you. These accommodations exist because you deserve them. You've earned them. Use them. What's your biggest concern about flying as a senior traveler? Security lines, long walks through the airport, medical equipment? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. Your questions help me create content that actually serves you. If you found this video helpful, share it with a senior traveler in your life who needs this information. Send it to your parents, your grandparents, your neighbor who's planning a trip. This information could save someone's vacation or even prevent a serious injury. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an insider secret. I've got videos coming up on how to get free upgrades, what to do if your flight gets canceled, and crew secrets airlines don't want you to know. Thank you for watching. I'm John from Dream Visa Updates. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.